I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Culpy.
So I was talking to my buddy on Instagram, my buddy Scotty.
Yeah.
I was like, what's good, Scotty? He's like, what's good, Vin? I was like, hey, man, what's your favorite song? He said, Longing for Fire by the Scorpions. I'm like, done. So here we are.
You got lucky.
Well, that's what sometimes I'm just randomly in a certain type of mood, and we're just like knocking out video after video. Mm-hmm. So when we're in those situations, stuff like this happens.
That's true.
So there you are. And shout out to Scotty. Shout out to Instagram. You know what got me?
What?
Is that he just said, hey, thank you, da-da-da-da, didn't make a request at all.
Oh.
Most times people say, hey, man, da-da-da-da-da, and they make a request. I'm not mad at you for doing that, but it just did stand out to me. It's like he just wanted to say what's up. Mm-hmm. And I had to draw it out of him.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. That makes sense.
So this is weird. It's a Scorpion song, but it's only 2 minutes and 48 seconds long. So.
I know, yeah.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it. If you want to check us out on our other channels and our other iterations, you can look at Middle America Vin and Sori. Or you can look at My Sori Life, which this one hasn't updated her stuff in like 2 weeks.
It's true.
Okay. And if you want some of our shirts, which none of us are on brand right now, but who cares about that? You can check it out at Teespring, the little thingy in our thingamajig. All right, let's go. Go!
Teespring is also in the description of the video, so if you don't see it down there, that's where you can find it.
Go!
And go.
Go. Interesting song.
Yeah. When it first started, I was like picturing just fun dance and stuff.
1975.
Yeah,
Good
it felt
Lord.
old.
It felt a little dated, but I thought the Scorpions were like an late 80s, early 90s band, which...
Oh, really?
It's not mutually exclusive. I mean, they could be in the 90s. I mean, you know, whatever, but... 1975, good Lord.
I don't understand the lyrics.
Flying with the guys in my longing for fire, crying like last night, the night which brings me higher, in search of light, escape the night one day. She's lost in time, just missed so high. Time's passing by and I'm on my way. I think he's talking about, because the song's called Longing for Fire.
Yeah.
So I think he's talking about like maybe a relationship with a girl or whatever, and she brings that fire out of him, but he's got to go off and fly and be with his dudes.
Because he's in a band?
Because he's in a band. He's a rock star. My longing for fire, crying like last night.
Oh.
The night which brings me higher. So he's flying with his guys, but when he's with her, he's higher.
Which is why he
Smart
said
writing.
escape the night one day.
Right.
So he's looking for a way to get out of that so he can be with her?
Get back to her, basically. But at
Oh.
the same time, I mean, it's rock and roll.
Right, how is he going to believe that?
How could you believe that? I think you would be. I think you. Yeah, so I think he's talking about that. Like, he's flying with the guys, but the night brings him higher when he's with her.
Mm-hmm.
He's at his. I kind of have.
Oh, really? I thought that she was the light because he said the night which crying like last night, the night which so like at night like he misses her, but that's also the time that he gets higher because of like that's probably when he plays his shows or whatever. In search of light, escape the night one day.
I'm still in stanza 1.
Yeah, I was just doing that part, and then in
You
search
were
of
reading
light.
verse 2.
Well, you read them both at the same time. If we're just gonna be
I think
honest
the
here.
metaphors. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You read them back to back.
Flying with the guys and my longing for fire. Look,
Let the record show.
then he says, crying like last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's looking at the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's flying with the guys. He's longing for fire, crying like last night, the night which brings me higher. So something happened last night that made him higher than the flight that he's on with the guys. That's how I'm interpreting it anyway.
See, I'm looking at it as the fire and the light analogies are her. Flying with the guys and my longing for fire. So he's with the guys or whatever, but he has a longing for her. Crying like last night, the night which brings me higher. Like he's thinking about last night when he was crying and missing her, but at the same time, tonight he's feeling higher probably because it's a band night. He's probably playing in a show. But like I think he's talking about both.
Okay.
Alright.
Verse
In
2.
search of light, which is her, so he still like wants to be with her. Escape the night one day, which I think he's saying he wants to escape. But he can't. How can he really do that? She's lost in time. Just miss so high. Is miss her? Is he calling her miss so high? What do you think that's?
Well, he's on the plane with his boys.
Yeah.
So I think that in this universe, he's on the plane in the daytime with his boys, with his dudes.
Okay.
But the previous night, when he was on the ground, he was higher because he was with her than being 30,000 feet in the air with his boys.
So cute.
I'd never write a song like that.
Imagine if a man actually felt like that.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if a man reordered his entire life so he could literally spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with his woman. Imagine, who would do such a thing?
Who would?
And the only time he gets any time to himself is when he's taking a shower. Who would do such a thing?
He's extended his showers to almost 2 hours now. Oh, I'm like, you should just go for a drive or something instead of being trapped in that small room. Oh, you're gonna make the paint peel off the walls because you put that shower so hot.
I'm trying to, like evaporate.
Oh, honey.
Then I can escape from the house without you.
Out that little vent where the steam
escape
goes
from the
out.
vent, Yeah. You'll probably have like you'll probably, put cement in the vent or something.
No, I listened by the door.
Yeah.
He's still in there. Okay.
Yeah. Unreal.
I do not, babe.
Unreal. This song is very interesting to me because it's like, okay, it's the second to night. See, the next song is called Night Lights. And the song before it was called
Sun in My Hand.
So I think they're playing around with light and darkness metaphors, but I think the night in this context is not necessarily a bad thing. she's lost in time. I bet it's really hard. Like, I'm sure you could probably have a really significant relationship that's really important to you, but I mean, there are only a couple professions where you're like, yo, this is my destiny.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of years ago, I was involved in stuff where I'm like, definitely conflict with the family, but I'm like, yo, this is my destiny. I'm getting on this plane. I have to do this thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there are a couple professions where it's like that. Mm-hmm. And it's hard on relationships because it's like,
yeah,
you know, because the girl, she doesn't care about your destiny.
She didn't care though, that when you would go.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what she said to me.
No, she didn't. Well, yeah. Yeah, she didn't care.
You had a special case.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I think...
Because I remember one day I was going to bat for her, and I'm like, you shouldn't be blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm fine with it. Like, yeah. I want him to be able to... I was like, oh.
Yeah, she's completely fine. I mean, she didn't know, like, all the details about actually what I was actually supposed to do when I got down there.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think if she would have known that it would have changed anything. But you...
Oh, no.
You'd be like, no! I'd be like, it's my destiny, babe. It's what I'm supposed to do.
No, I am your destiny.
Yep. I'd be like, I earned this. I worked really hard to get to this level.
Don't care.
Yeah, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care.
Level up on gears. Feel good about that.
And I knew that, so that's why I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this stuff.
You're doing YouTube.
Yeah, doing YouTube. Very exciting. It's the same adrenaline rush.
You know what's funny is when you tell babe, stop that. When you tell people, like, when they say, like, you know, like, what do you guys do? And then I say that we do YouTube. It sounds so stupid. People think it's like a joke. Like, it's like when somebody says, I'm going to be part of the NBA. Most people are not going to be in the NBA. So they're actually thinking, well, yeah, but what are you really going to do? So when I say, like, we're doing YouTube...
Well, who do you tell that to?
Just, like, different times it will come up.
That you talked
I just told you one the other day.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were running around telling everybody.
No, I don't run around and tell everybody. But there are times where it comes out.
Who have you told that we're on?
Well, for one thing, like when when I went to the bank because I had to get that credit card, they ask you what your profession is. So I don't know what else to say. So I. And then, like, when I have, like, because I'm usually the one doing the businessy stuff, so whenever I have to say it, they look at me like it's really immature, like we haven't matured to realize you can't go full time on YouTube.
Okay. Whatever you say, bitch.
I know, and then, like, I feel like saying, no, we're getting closer, you know, and we talk, and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this with people.
Some people don't deserve the truth. Just missed so high, so she's lost in time. Time's passing by and on the way. I've been in those situations. You feel like you're missing, not necessarily your significant other because the nature of my previous relationship, but the kids, like, I feel like, what if I'm missing out on something? What if I'm missing out on a first whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Or if I don't come the last time, the very, very last trip I went on where I told people this is the last time I'm out, I almost didn't come back. So.
Yeah. And yeah.
And then even when I got back, because I had to go to, what are you talking about?
I'll tell you after.
No, what are you
the thing that was said to you right before you left on that trip.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you think about that, compiled with you saying you almost didn't make it back from that trip, it's like...
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's really...
It's pretty crazy.
Friggin' nuts.
It's pretty crazy. I called you one time and you're like, hey, are you... And I was like, oh, no!
Yeah, but you just lied to me. You, like, did all these...
I never lied to you.
You did all these things.
I never lied to you.
Okay. There was no direct lie, but there was all kinds of...
No direct lie. You didn't ask me direct questions.
I did so, and then you would give these swirly answers.
Yeah.
I'm like...
I was in the customs thing. The guy didn't want to let me in. I'm like, bruh.
I know.
I knew that was going to be my last one, though. And then, of course, being with you, forget it. It's not even an option. I can't even go to friggin'
Cumberland Farms.
Chipotle.
Honey, is it?
Turn around, you're in the fucking backseat. Hey! You forgot about me? I'm like, oh, absolutely.
No, make it more creepy. I don't say anything. I'm just in the backseat watching you.
Yeah.
I'm really not like that.
Yeah, but there's certain like things where it's like very, very hard to give up that stuff. Because like only, less than 1% of the whatever gets to have that opportunity to actually go out and do that. And you're like on the edge of really important, significant stuff.
Yeah.
And then with rock stars, it's like how many millions of people have a dream of being a rock star, and then
I know, yeah.
Then,
we were talking to one guy, and he said that before being a rock star, he was, working at a call center, and it wasn't really going good for him.
No, he was not a good call center employee. Yeah, no, I agree. And now he's a pretty successful guy, a good friend of ours. So.
Yeah.
So to just give that up. But then I think after a while, you kind of have to make that decision about what's going to be. Because people in bands do it all the time. They'll quit or whatever, and the band will replace somebody or whatever, because it's just like.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Sometimes, and it'll happen too. It happens all the time. Definitely, guys will just, take an office job or whatever. Got all that talent, did all that work, and now you're fucking working in an office.
Yep. You remember that scene on
terrible.
What's that superhero? The Incredibles. Do you remember that? Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah.
After he's been a superhero all over the place, and then they got reassigned, and he's in that cubicle. Plus, he's got that big barrel thing that's in his room.
Dude,
he's already a big guy, and he has barely no room because the only cubicle with this big thing in it happens to be his.
Caged beast, poor guy. Yeah. I don't think I've ever forgiven that woman for doing that to him.
She didn't do that to him. That was the whole. What do you mean? The entire city was against that babe, and he had to do that.
I know, but I blame the woman.
Well, she wanted him to stay doing that.
They always do.
She's like, don't basically don't wreck our lives.
They always want to hold you back.
So he did bowling.
You probably saved my life, but you probably want to just hold me back.
Yeah. You're here to be able to give advice to your children.
What the guy say? I don't die.
Yeah. That reminded me of you.
Yeah.
When he said that.
Yeah, I don't.
There are some people where that's.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know when.
Yeah.
But
we were watching a movie the other day. This giant plane comes down and crashes. It was called The Knowing or something like that. This plane comes and just crashes in front of the guy. Vin's on the bed. Vin goes, that's exactly what we needed to see. And I'm like, what? Why? And you're like, we're about to go on a plane in less than a week. And I was like, oh, yeah. But I don't worry about dying in a plane crash.
I've been on some pretty bumpy situations in the air. I'm not a fan of flying in any way, shape, or form.
I always felt like I am not going to go down in a plane. So anytime that turbulence would hit, I would just be like, yes, entertainment. I'd look around at all the people scared.
It's a kite feeling the flight.
Turbulence.
Once in a blue moon, I have a dream of flying this. Hang guard to the house with the fly chick. Condo in Fresno. What rhymes with Fresno?
I wasn't going to say it, babe.
You know that I'm still how you respect the flow.
Is that really the line there, or you just put it?
Why don't you help a brother live and help him make a decimal? Yeah, so I just think it's about being on the road and all that. Mm-hmm. This song looks like one of those songs where it's the record label says you gotta have 14 songs on the record. Or you gotta have 10 songs on the record. You gotta at least have 10 songs. And they go, okay, fine. And then this is song number 9.
It had a happy sound to it, though.
Yeah.
I could picture people doing weird dancing like that. And
what do you give the
8.
The thing? It's an 8?
Yeah.
This song reminds me of actually, this song really does remind me of the last trip I took. So because of that, it's a 9. It's a 9 for me because Yeah. So there you are.
Well,
All
I'm
right.
glad you're here with me.
Yeah, so am I.
Are you sure?
No, I am. I mean, sometimes whatever, but it's all right.
Sometimes you'll say, "You don't know who I am." I'm like,
What? I don't say that to you. What are you
not to
talking
me. You
about?
said it to the boys one time.
What do you mean?
To the boys. I'll tell you after.
What did I say?
You don't know me. You don't know who I am, you said. You know, because they was just being boys.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.